If you're an ESFP or wondering if you might be, I want to give you a clear, no fluff breakdown of what that really means through the 4 Myers-Briggs dichotomies. Without knowing your personality type clearly, you can feel like you're driving with the emergency brake on, confused, second-guessing yourself, or missing opportunities. Today, we're going to release that brake. Let's use the personality cards to understand it. E stands for extrovert. S stands for sensor, F stands for feeler, P stands for perceiver, so you have ESFP. These cards are really nice. They've got some symbols on them for the functions, cognitive functions, but they also have some descriptions and definitions on these so that you can not have to memorize things if you'd like to get a deck for yourself to understand this. What does extrovert mean? What does sensor mean? What does feeler mean? And what does perceiver mean? Extrovert just means that you, as an ESFP, prefer to live in the outer world. You love to live in the environment that you're part of. You don't go back and process all of your experiences quietly in your room by yourself. That'd be more of an introvert. You're an extrovert. You're out there. You're engaged. You're dynamically moving through the world in real time. And that makes a lot of sense to you as an ESFP. In fact, you could argue this is what guides your entire life. This is kind of, you're looking to be fully engaged in the present moment, whether it's high energy or effortless flow and presence, just being present to the moment. So that's the extrovert card. S stands for sensor. Sensor means that you are a person as an ESFP that doesn't want to live, the other alternative would be intuition, but you don't want to live in your intuition and your abstractions and all the meaning making. Patterns aren't real. They're not a real, tangible thing. As a sensor, you prefer to live in the here and now in the present moment, in the actual experience you're having. Not the idea of an experience that you could be having, but the actual experience you're having. Let's talk about the feeling part. F stands for feeler. This is actually about decision making. This is how you make your best and wisest decisions for yourself in life. You tune into the feeling in yourself and in other people to make your best decisions. You tune into the self of how it's impacting the human experience. You first start with yourself and then you tune into others. You usually have a lot of empathy for other people, sympathy for other people. You kind of know what's motivating them and why they do what they do. The final letter is P for perceiver. And what this is about is more about your organization. You as a perceiver actually prefer to have your organization in your heart and mind. You have your thoughts and your emotions organized so that you can experience freedom in the outer world. You like to be able to pivot and improvise when you want to as an ESFP. So if you're too organized out here, well, that takes away all that freedom and improvisation. That's not very fun. So it's really nice to be organized internally so you have external freedom. Most people stop at their 4 letters, ESFP. But that's just a label. A label is not a map. The personality car model is the map of personality. It shows you how your mind actually drives your entire experience, how your co-pilot protects you in your struggles. And when you understand it and you stop being trapped by stereotypes, you start steering your life with clarity. So I already have the dichotomy cards laid out. So now I'm going to just lay out the ESFP car model card. This is a handy little guide. It shows me the positions of the car model, the driver, the co-pilot, the 10-year-old, and 3-year-old. And now I can lay out my function cards in the same order with more descriptive words on there, more content on there to understand it. So I'm going to take my sensation card. I'm going to put it here in the driver's seat up here at the top left corner. Now the driver is sensation. This is your natural superpower. You're tuned into the real world, the sights, the sounds, the textures, and the experience that are happening right now. Your strengths are reacting quickly, you spot opportunities, and you bring a sense of vibrancy to any room. But here's some challenges you might have. You can get caught in chasing the next thrill without pausing for reflection. If this was just left to its own devices, this sensation process, you might just go for it without checking in with yourself. Sensation could show up by possibly you as an ESFP going into a party. You could instantly read the energy of the room. You tune into what's going on. You're hearing the music. You're immediately connecting with the vibe of the space. Well, that's this driver cognitive function of sensation, technically called extroverted sensing. It's really making that experience rich and rewarding for you as an ESFP. So the next part of your personality will be that co-pilot position right here. We're going to lay out the authenticity card for you as an ESFP. Authenticity, its technical name is introverted feeling, helps you make really good decisions, right? By tuning in to what's authentic for you. This is your growth stage, your growth edge. This is a really important part for you and your personality to grow. Authenticity is about that quiet inner alignment of self. It's the compass that's inside of you that asks, does this feel true to me, to who I am? Does this match my values? It has really deep strengths. in its authenticity, it's connected to that, and its ability to make choices that feel right and personal. Now, anytime you've got strengths with something, you also have some of the challenges. So the challenges with introverted feeling or authenticity is that you can feel isolated when you keep your values locked inside. Without sharing them with other people, sometimes you can feel like you're the only one that feels this way. It can feel very lonely, especially if you've got strong conviction or strong feelings around things. So an ESFP that pauses before saying yes to something new, maybe a new job, a new direction or something, and they check in with what aligns with their core values instead of just chasing the moment, this is an ESFP that is growing, that's centered in their self, and is using that co-pilot to make really wise decisions for the self. Let's talk about that 10-year-old cognitive function of extroverted thinking or effectiveness. So this is nicknamed effectiveness for a reason. It's about being effective. This is often where an ESFP will go to, though, when they're feeling defensive. Right? Extroverted thinking is about logic, rules, efficiencies, effectiveness. Obviously, that's its nickname. It's about getting things done, the bottom line, resource management. One of its challenges, though, is that it can snap at others or try to control the situation. There's a very controlling part, or can be a controlling part for ESFPs. Not always, but it's just something to keep your eyes on. This can trip you up sometimes. As an example, an ESFP is arguing about the right way to organize a trip because they feel unheard, or maybe they're arguing with somebody to be right about something, so they're positioning the argument a certain way. Like, this part of you can be really aggressive and driven if it pops up that way. Let's talk about that final 3-year-old position of perspectives, what we technically call introverted intuition. Perspectives is your most vulnerable process, also your most uncertain process. It's about seeing patterns over time and predicting the future. Remember, I talked about your driver being present in the moment. It's almost like it's the opposite of your perspectives, right? So there's this part of you that's your driver that's in the present moment, but perspectives takes itself out of the present moment and tunes into the meaning of something, the abstraction of something over time. And that can feel deeply uncertain for you as an ESFP. Sometimes this can feel foggy or overwhelming, but its strengths, when you slow down, it gives you powerful gut insights about long-term directions, right? And the meaning of things and what other people's perspectives are. The challenge is, though, it can trigger anxiety. A lot of ESFPs struggle with anxiety and worrying about the future. They might imagine worst-case scenarios or getting stuck in paranoia. An ESFP that suddenly feels uneasy about a relationship, maybe, or a career path without being able to explain why. This is something that ESFPs they just know it. They don't know why they know it. They just have a sense of it. It can make them feel deeply unsettled, and that can be very uncertain. If you honor this intuition as an ESFP, instead of ignoring it, it can be helpful in guiding you for wise decisions. But you have to be careful not to just hand power over, but listen with a discreet voice to know what it's trying to tell you. Most ESFPs' descriptions online say that they are fun-loving, spontaneous, and the entertainer. And that's a label. I mean, those things are somewhat true about ESFPs, but those are labels. They're static. They're not dynamic. We just showed you a car model map of your personality. You see how the process of ESFP actually plays out in the world. These are parts of you, and different parts of them are activated as you move through your life and your experience, right? You've got different sensations, you've got different values you check in, you have the logical part of you, you've got this abstract, intuitive part of you, and see different patterns in the long term. When you know how this all works together, you can stop feeling boxed in by all the stereotypes that are flying around there on the internet. You can just understand this car model for yourself as an ESFP. That's our hope for you. I think this could really help you grow. When you know this about yourself, you stop being trapped by shallow labels and you start driving your life with clarity, direction, and confidence. Click the link below and come over and get an owner's manual for your ESFP personality type. This is a really powerful tool that will help you understand more about your car model, what all these things mean, and then actual tools and tips and strategies for setting up a life that is ergonomic for you, that fits you like a glove, that fits your personality type like a glove, makes you feel alive and makes you feel encouraged to go through every day living with this information and this knowledge base. Joel Mark Witt, Personality Hacker. Talk soon.